With this energy of first light, I am hearing you are everything I hoped you would be and more. So it feels like this person is very excited about what's to come in this connection because they have prayed, they have made sacrifices, they have done the most to align with a higher vibrational love in the here and now. This is somebody who maybe even took a vow of celibacy for a period of time in order to purify their energy, their mind, their life, to do some soul searching, to fix certain aspects of their life, all as an investment in and preparation for a high, holy love. This is somebody who is done with lust based connections. Yeah, sex is great, but they want soul to soul connection. And so this is somebody that has definitely turned towards the spiritual realm, the aspects of sort of themselves that go beyond the ordinary, as a way to actively prepare themselves for a higher level love in the here and now. And now that you have crossed this person's path, it's like all signs and indicators inside and outside are pointing to the fact that you are the one. You are the one who they have been anticipating the arrival of for quite some time. This is somebody, it feels like, that has had dreams, premonitions, downloads about you that align very much with the experience of you in the physicality. This is somebody that feels like they were very familiar with your energy long before they met you. And at first, it might have kind of caught them by surprise, kind of like, oh, there you are, the person of my dreams. Literally, but you might have shown up for this person in dreams prior to them meeting you under sort of, the physicality of maybe a body you inhabited in a previous lifetime that you shared with them. You may have come through energetically in the form of symbolism or even just an energy itself that at one point in time they might have confused with like an angelic presence. But the more that this person has tried to actively sort of call in and cultivate this higher vibrational love for themselves, the more they've cleansed their perceptions by foregoing, many of the things that, romantically speaking, would have led to kind of like immediate pleasures, but were definitely things that were very sort of half fulfilling. Again, somebody that may have taken a vow of celibacy, they may have been single for a while. This isn't the energy of someone that's going to come on here and like, oh yeah, I've been single for a year, I haven't had sex in a year, and that makes me celibate and pure, and I prepared myself for that higher vibrational love. No, this is the energy of somebody that for at least 5 years, maybe a decade even, they have gone without, physical romantic connections with other people. Maybe they've had talking stages, maybe they've dated, maybe they've tried to get to know other people, maybe they've been in hermit mode. But this is somebody that is like a very pure vessel. Yeah, they enjoy worldly pleasures and other sort of indulgences. They've got their vices, they've got their virtue, but as far as kind of like a sexual connection with another person, this is somebody who has been sleeping alone in their own bed for quite some time. And so this is again something that very act of kind of preserving themselves, keeping themselves sort of away from people that didn't align with that sort of indicator of higher connection, energetically speaking, or even in terms of how people were living their life. All of this is something that has served as an investment in the future between the two of you. And so this person, because they are in that like long-term celibate energy, they are really able to, only call into their experience things that are of that sort of like higher spiritual quality. So they were able to kind of connect with you energetically prior to meeting you. Now that they have crossed paths with you, it's like all of those sort of senses that they have refined, that they have honed Even if this is somebody that, didn't sort of, devote their life purely to a spiritual path, it might have just been like, I'm not going to get into, sort of like hooking up with people. I'm not going to have like karmic entanglements. I'm going to get to know someone before I just like go and have sex with them. And maybe they weren't really able to kind of find anyone that fulfilled them beyond the physical. All of this is something which has definitely purified this person's energy. We also have answering the call. Yeah, so this person's intuition is screaming at them at this particular point in time. Like, there she is, or there he is. There is somebody that in some sort of way aligns with that very heightened frequency and vibration that this person has meticulously cultivated inside of themselves. This is not the kind of energy of somebody that is like fearful of their own loneliness. They have definitely learned to become their own best friend, to purify themselves, to kind of like purge all of the energies, all of the karmic residue, all of that gunk and yuck that was sort of left behind during other stages of their life when they were less aware or less mindful of things. And it might have been just kind of like, yeah, let me just have someone around, a warm body next to me, because I fear my own company, or I don't want to be alone, or everybody's got to have someone. It feels like this person had those experiences. They had that chapter in their life, and then something happened where they're like, I want something more for myself. Hookup culture is not something that interests this person. So if that's what you're looking for, if that's what you're interested in, kind of just like, yeah, we're going to meet and it's all going to evolve into something, then this is probably not your reading. This is somebody who has been holding back for like the right person, the right one. This is not the type of person that's been just like a saint the whole time. It feels like this might have even been someone, was kind of a player at one particular point in time, where they just didn't have any discernment. They were lonely and they made sort of like poor choices as far as who they were sharing their body with, who they were sharing their energy or their life with. That is a chapter of their life that they have put behind them. This is somebody that has refined themselves. They have increased their value and their energy. And something within your presence, within kind of the experience that they have had with you so far, has provided them with a lot of reassurance that that waiting hasn't been in vain, that you are somebody that has that high standard. You match that frequency in some sort of way. Maybe they've been celibate and single for longer than you have. Maybe you've been celibate and single longer than they have. Whatever that kind of looks like, you're like tapped into the same frequency. You got the same mindset as one another. You got the same vibe as one another. And this is really enticing this person to take very seriously the signs and synchronicities and the internal intuitive knowing that they have, that to take steps forward, open their mind, their heart, and their life to the experience of what can develop between the two of you, that is the way to seize the moment and make this kind of like answered prayer into sort of a dream relationship or a dream reality for the two of you, because you've both kind of cultivated living within that dream or walking upon that dream in your own way in your own lives prior to this point of encountering one another. Yeah, we also have great adventure. So this person is looking forward to the events that will unfold between the two of you. This person has waited for you for a very long time. They've searched for someone like you for a very long time. They've searched within and found themselves and have like really becoming that love that they have been seeking for quite some time. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort for this person to kind of just like look at you and recognize like the momentum that is building, the experiences that you're having at this point in time. Sometimes it moves quickly, sometimes it moves slowly. All of that is something that they are trusting in. This is somebody that feels like divine timing has been, something that's been very annoying up to this point. Again, this is somebody that's been like single, celibate for a very long-term sense. The whole time they haven't been like, this is wonderful. Feels like there have been times where like, this sucks. I wish I could find someone. I wish I could find my person. That's all part of the growing process or the growing pains. And so there's this level of like excitement, like, yay, here you are. And here I am. Let's move forward with this. Let's keep going. I am so glad that we have aligned with one another because everything feels right. The pieces fit together. And this is somebody who is very excited to see the ways in which this kind of like higher level, higher realm connection that they already sense is the case between the two of you, how that is able to be kind of like translated down into the material world where the humanness of who you each are can kind of like take shape in accordance with this person definitely surrendering to their higher self, the higher will, kind of like the universal forces. They see that the stars have aligned perfectly. This person has listened to that internal guidance. This person has been very disciplined and, again, kind of like preparing themselves, their physical vessel, their life, their energy, their perspective for this type of union, for this type of experience with another person. And even if that process or the length of that process has looked different for the two of you, this is somebody that is like, yeah, we are in alignment with one another. This feels right. This fits. And so while they are wanting to take like active conscious steps forward, this is also somebody that is kind of like deferring to their higher self, like, okay, here I am, here's this person, we're going to make this work. But they're also kind of listening for that internal guidance. They're following their intuitive knowing, and they are expressing a lot of gratitude each and every day that you have finally found one another out of the billions of people in the world. And it's not just like, okay, good, here's someone to stand by my side and kind of like fill that sort of hole of loneliness within. But it's like, okay, good, here's that person that, the experience is so far, the vibe that you put off, it aligns very much with what they have imagined, what they have envisioned, what they've been craving, what they've been calling in, as far as that higher level love in the here and now. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.